Chapter 1: The Problem and Its Background. Introduction. Parental involvement in school has been shown to be an important factor in children's academic outcomes. International research also strongly supports the positive influence of parental involvement on academic achievements. As a result, the purpose of this research is to advance the understanding of the parental involvement in school on the academic achievement of kinder learners. The study's goal is to examine how different parental involvement profiles affect children's academic achievement. Parental involvement can take many forms, including communication between family and school, supporting learning activities at home, and participation in school activities, according to Squeller et al. 2017. Parental involvement in a child's education has been found to be consistently related to child's academic performance. The study examines the significant association between parent involvement and a child's academic performance over and above the impact of the child's intelligence. Parent involvement in a child's early education is consistently found to be positively associated with a child's academic performance, according to Hara and Berg 1998, Hill and Kraft 2003, Marcon 1999, Stevensons and Baker 1987. Specifically, children whose parents are more involved in their education have higher levels of parent involvement, whose parents are involved to lesser degree. The influence of parent involvement on academic success has not only been noted among researchers, but also among policymakers who have integrated efforts aimed at increasing parent involvement into broader educational policy initiatives. Coupled with these findings of the importance of early academic success, a child's academic success has been found to be relatively stable after elementary school, according to Edwise and Hajduk 1998, Pedersen, Fauser, and Eaton 1978. Therefore, it is important to examine factors that contribute to early academic success and that are amenable to change. Conceptual framework. This study involved a conceptual framework to understand the connections among parental attributes, factors of parental involvement, and student outcomes. As Punch 2014 explained, a conceptual framework is a representation of main concepts or variables and their presumed relationship with each other. Out of the many factors which are related to parental involvement, the conceptual framework in this study focused on the factors that could be considered as most relevant to kinder learners. Factors in literature which were directly related to parents and children, such as parental encouragement, family rules, home discussion, homework, involvement, and perceptions of control were included in the proposed conceptual framework. Material deprivation was another factor in previous studies, which refers to the inability for individual or households to afford consumption goods and activities. With regard to parents and children in this study, these factors was modified as entertainment deprivation, which was defined as inaccessibility to social media and equipment such as computer games, televisions, and mobile phones. Students might not be able to access such equipment due to unavailability within premises or prohibition by parents. in addition to the factors mentioned above. Another factor known as provision of private tutoring, which in common at present, was added to the list. Apart from the 7 parental involvement factors, student self-concept was included, which was another factor discussed in previous studies that affected student outcomes. However, it should be noted that student self-concept is not a direct parental involvement factor. As a starting point, the conceptual framework was used to show how parental attributes, involvement factors, and student outcomes could be related based on literature and experiential knowledge. In the conceptual framework, the most frequently spoken literature and experiential knowledge that would influence parental involvement, namely parental attributes, beliefs, and expectations together were included and considered as a single factor abbreviated as parental ABE. Student outcomes depending on various parental actions within the 7 parental involvement factors and the student self-concept were divided into positives, negatives, and both positive and negative depending on the factors of children. The research questions in this study were not only confirmatory but also explanatory, according to Teddy and Tashokori 2009. Therefore, quantitative data were needed to help explain answers. As a result, this study involved a quantitative research. Statement of the problem. Parents of kinder learners are often faced with unique challenges that hinder them from meeting the learner's needs. They include insufficient time, career or job type, level of education, order of priority, set home environment, opinion to voluntary work at school, time taking respond to school activities, for example, buying instruction materials, attending parents' meeting, conferences, sports, academic clinic day, disciplinary cases, and also discussing the academic progress of the child. This study, therefore, sought to establish the influence of parental involvement in the academic performance of kinder learners. This study also investigated parental involvement in their children's education and those same parents' perceived impact on their children's achievements. The importance of parental involvement in school is acknowledged throughout the literature. Ben-Pechant, 1990, Epstein, 1991, Henderson, 1987, Kagan, 1984, Satters, 1985. Many studies have examined parental involvement and students' achievements. However, very few studies are found that have examined what those parents perceive is their impact on their children's achievements. This research study, therefore, has combined both parental involvement and those parental perceptions on their impact on their children's achievements. The research questions addressed in this study as follows. What do parents perceive in their impact on their children's achievements? What are the barriers to parental involvement? What role do parents play in their children's education? In what activities or functions can do or do parents participate? Significance of the study. Parental involvement plays a significant role in academic performance of preschool children. These findings of the study will assist in improving parental involvement in academic performance of kinder learners. The findings could also be useful in managing education of the learners and to identify the types of parental involvement such as parenting, communicating, volunteering, learning at home, decision-making, and collaborating with the community that impact on improvement of kinder learners' acquisition on academic performance. The study will also provide intellectual inputs for future researchers in research and for knowledge on parental involvement on academic performance. This will form a foundation for further studies too. The findings can be helpful to teachers and the parents in developing programs to upgrade their skills, knowledge, positive attitude, and competencies of handling children. Scope and the limitations. This study mainly on the relationship between parental involvement among kinder learners of Casapuera Elementary School. Definition and terms. Academic performance. The outcome of education, the extent to which a student institution has achieved their educational goal. Communication. Home to school communication regarding children's academic development and other academically relevant information. Parent. In the context of this study, parent involvement means the involvement of not just biological parents, but any adult who has parenting responsibilities who makes the contact with the school of the child's behalf. Parental involvement. Parental involvement is participation by parents in any school-related activity in school as well as the home.
Chapter 2. Review related literature. Student learning not only takes place in school but also the context of families and communities play a great role. Martian Quenhu and Yuan 2016, therefore parental involvement is seen as quite significant in student learning and academic achievement. This is in part because parental involvement includes multiple behavior. Parental involvement not only enhances academic performance but is also positive influence on student attitude and behavior. A parent's interest and encouragement in child education can affect the child attitude toward the school, classroom conduct, self-esteem, self-esteem, and motivation. It is also defined as parents' engagement in activities which foster learning performance of their children. In the same vein, the current study considers parental involvements to their children's academic and social emotional development rather than the definition of concept which matters in what behavior are considered as parents' involvement. Studies show that parents are in fact a strong dependent variable in motivating their children to learn. Reading with children, especially in the early years, is highly beneficial, but parents have low literacy skills that thus talking and telling them story even from the book help build language skills. Parental support includes encouraging children through actions such providing them with appropriate environment, praising them, manifesting their care from them. Learning assistant refers to parent helping the children with the academic responsibilities. Parental control includes controlling the child too much exerting pressure of them. Activities include parents-child activities at home such as reading with the children, storytelling, parents, and home activities.
Chapter 3. Methodology. Research design. A correlational study was conducted to determine whether parental involvement affected student achievement. Among the subject, the independent variable was parent involvement. The dependent variable was student achievement. Other variables were not indicative to this study. Respondent of study. The participants of the study are the kinder learners of Casapuera Elementary School, year 2021-2022, and also their parents. They were all selected with the total number of 11 participants, both students and parents in the study through a probability simple random sampling method. Data gathering tools. The sample consisted of 11 students currently studying in kindergartners situated in Casapuera Elementary School. The population was selected, keeping in view the specific nature of the present research. The researcher wanted to select as a population where the parents might have somewhat orientation and relatively wider understanding about the parental involvement in academic activities of their children's education. The researcher selected the parents of primary level school going students which were studying in kinder classes, boys and girls in public school. The students of primary levels were selected because parental involvement in primary level is more as compared to higher levels. In view of this reason, students studying in kinder class with their parents were considered population for conducting this research. The sampling produced researcher have used for the present research was probability sampling. Data gathering produced. The following steps are the collection of data done by the researcher. The researcher first gathered and listed down the Facebook and email addresses of the participants that were part of the survey in the study. The researcher used Google Forms to create a questionnaire and attach consent form along with the research. Instrument was sent through the messenger account and emails of the participants. Questionnaires were administered to the plans at their most convenient time. Statistical treatment. The survey questions were written to represent for specific areas of parents' involvement. The questions for the various sub-skills were randomized throughout the survey, and some were written in reverse form. It was hoped that in doing so respondents would not mark all on one response, but rather have to read each question and provide a more accurate response. The analysis of the data was divided into 8 sub-skills. Number 1, parents' attitude about involvement at home. Number 2, parents' behavior relating to involvement at home. Number 3, parents' attitudes about involvement at school. Number 4, parents' behavior relating to involvement at school. Number 5, parents' attitude about their desire and expectation for their children. Number 6, parents' behavior relating to their desire and expectation for their children. Number 7, parents' attitude about their own school experience. Number 8, parents' behavior relating to their own school experience. All approaches, descriptive static were utilized and correlation were made. Data was analyzed utilizing means, standard deviation, Pearson correlation, range test, and pre-sequence.